years old, and it's a pleasure having all of you here today, friends, family, and teachers. A huge thank you to all of those who helped me during the course and encouraged me to keep on learning. I would like to say that I'm deeply grateful for having you as my friends and colleagues, for staying with me on my learning journey. The English language has tons of variations and dialects. During the course, I've learned how to recognize that somehow we're all connected by a universal language. Knowing English is as important as brushing your teeth, because to talk to someone from a random spot on the globe, you need to know English. For traveling abroad, you need to know English. And the list of things you can do by knowing how to speak English is infinite, and it extends to all the other areas of knowledge. In fact, due to Wizard support, I've learned how to interact with people from other countries. Communicating with exchange students became easier. Suddenly, it turned into kind of a translator at school. It made me realize that it's not a hard thing to comprehend the English language and translate it to Portuguese. Also, added to the huge list of benefits of being part of the Wizard family, school helped me to improve my skills in English. In every sense, it rises your inner self as an English learner. When I arrived at Wizard, I had no idea I would have so many friends, so many good teachers by my side, so many accomplishments. I feel really accomplished by having you all of my friends here today. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to say that we both thank you for letting us speak on behalf of the students who are graduating this evening. My name is Andrius, and I'm already in my 30s, but it doesn't matter anyway. Maybe I mispronounced some words, but I learned that the most important points when speaking a foreign language are to understand and to be understood. So even if I make a lot of mistakes while I'll be talking to you, I can assure everyone that we will be always learning something new, because our lives are a constant learning process that will never end, since even in Portuguese, we do not know all the words. That's why I brought a quote uttered by Steve Jobs during a graduation ceremony at Stanford University in 2005. He said, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." And by saying that, he meant, keep yourself hungry for new things, keep yourself aware of your ignorance, keep eager to learn, keep yourself naive and humble to seek. Be hungry for life and thirsty to find out. Besides our memorable learning experience, which Gabriela has just described, over these years at Wizard, we have met many people here. Ronis, Jusimeres, secretaries, classmates, new friends, and some of us may have met their girlfriends or boyfriends or spouse. People who have become really important to us, who we have seen weekly and week after week for at least 6 years. I said at least because some of you may have taken a break like I did sometimes. I started studying English in 2006 and I stopped for 1 month because of a car crash. Soon after this, I came back and I stayed for 2 years more, and then I needed to stop for 2 years because I decided not to live with in my parents' house anymore, and I would have to pay rent. So when I got a new job, I was back again, but only until I had to stop once more for almost 3 years to dedicate myself to a postgraduate degree. But I didn't give up, and now I'm back and I'm standing here for about 3 years. I take the opportunity to thank my mom for being always understanding, supportive, and never giving up from me and my siblings. Thanks to all students' parents for supporting their children during this journey. Well, these 12 books may have seemed to be long for many of us in a certain moment, but now if we stop and think for a while, we realize that we're going to miss all these special people we have met at Wizard. Now I'm going to talk about all of them, the people who I know, from the bottom of my heart, telling how each one has influenced my life weekly over these years, how I feel every time I see them, and what memories I have from each one, who didn't pass by our lives simply, but will be forever in our minds and our hearts. Some of you may get touched by my words and get emotional. So I recommend you take your seats and fasten your seatbelts. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. When we first came to Wizard, we were welcomed by friendly and polite secretaries who know by heart the name of each student, as well as helping with all the doubts and issues that we may need to solve, and yet saying good morning, good afternoon, good night, or just hello. After 13 years studying here, I'd like to say how much I appreciate the special treatment I received from Juliana, Xenia, Jonathan, Carla, Lucas, and Maisa. So what to say about the bosses? Ronis is a so polite and wise man who may look like a serious person for some students, but when you get to know him better, you find out someone with a big heart, kind and even funny, besides having a wonderful accent when speaking English. Josie, the big boss, the big mom, the big woman. She has many virtues I could spend all night long telling you, but what I like best is to feel happy every time I see her. Not everyone has a second chance, but God decided He would give one to both of us. So the best we can do is to make the most of this opportunity. That's why I smile every Saturday morning that I see you and I remember myself how beautiful life is, how it can always get better, and that we should value the small things in life. What about teachers? Unfortunately, some of them are missing today, but I'm sure somehow they will be sent my regards. Of course. During this long time, I've seen teachers growing, getting old, graduating, getting married, getting pregnant, and giving birth. But I'm going to start from the beginning, from the teacher of the teachers. Gabriela, she's not here today. Long time no see her, so now she's being my teacher again. I would venture to say that every student should have a teacher like her, at least once in a lifetime, because everyone needs a bit of discipline under the guidance of a strict but experienced tutor. She taught me the first words in English many years ago, and now she's teaching us to set our goals, write it down, and reach for the stars. Today I'm telling her, I'm telling you, that she's one of my inspirations to become a teacher. That's why since last month I started attending classes of a language degree in Portuguese and English at the university. Everyone can notice that she loves to teach, and she does it very well. Thank you to her, she's not here, for inspiring me. Congratulations on inspiring all her students. Angelita was also one of my first teachers here, and I don't know if it is called sympathy or empathy, but since I first saw her, I felt we knew each other long ago. And this inexplicable feeling is wonderful, because I know she also feels happy every time we meet. Moreover, we used to make jokes that only we both thought they were funny, like, "Tea with me, I will book your face." Is this funny?
Yes.
Billy Jack would certainly say it is. Back to the subject. In Spanish, Angelita means little angel. And that's how I feel about her. I feel like giving her a bear hug whenever I see her. I was here when she graduated in law, and I know how interesting the subject of her graduation monograph was. Congratulations on helping the world get better, being friendly, supportive, and respecting people's differences. When we got to book 8, we suddenly started facing some difficult words. But teacher Franciele, she's not here, would always say, "Easy peasy," or "a piece of cake." And these words surely sound easy to her, and they still are. Franciele is a cheerful, strong, and hard-working woman. I was here when she got pregnant. I was here when she moved to Florianopolis. And I was still here when she came back. Because the good song returns home. Congratulations on being so polite and attentive. By the way, for anyone who has ever been to Way's classroom, something Way students use it to have nightmares about was the following question. Do you know that the winter who has just been hired? Every time I heard this sentence, I felt like answering, yes, of course I know that the winter who has just been hired, because I've been hearing this sentence for so long that I will remember forever. Mirella got pregnant too. However, she had enough time to teach us many things we would never learn without her knowledge in languages. Like the French origin of some words in English. Besides that, she always made a point of explaining to us thoroughly the meaning of each word, and that there is a reason for different words with similar meanings to exist. They are used in different contexts and for conveying different intensities of emotion, for instance. I really hope I have chosen the right words for today. I found out that Mirella is like me, always hungry for learning, but she plays pool much better than her students. I'm sure she's being as good as a mother, as a good teacher. Congratulations on everything. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about teacher Daniel, with whom I've never had a class at all, but about whom I've only heard compliments. I've also heard that every student in the world wants to be Daniel's student. Oh, he is so funny. He has a quick reasoning. He speaks so naturally, as if he were a native speaker. I also heard he can do a great Russian accent. When I first met him, he was the same as always, but he had not only a long hair, but a beautiful and big one, and colorful.
Yeah, true. True too.
Actually, at the time, both of us had hair. Considering that currently we are going almost bald.
Yeah.
Time flies, my dear.
They do.
Congratulations on loving what you do and on being loved for your students and anyone else who has ever heard of you.
Thank you so much.
I extend my compliments to the other teachers of Wizard, because you all do love what you do, and this is the main differential that students see, and for that reason they choose to study here. I hope my speech had embraced all the teachers I know. Finally, congratulations to all the students who are graduating today, and thank you all.